Hello, everyone. It's Shalora back here at the Convention Center, and I'm so excited to show you the very best of PAX West.
Hi, I'm Shawn Alexander Allen. I'm the head of New Challenger Independent Game Studio and working on Beatdown City Survivors right now. I'm the designer. We're like mostly two people, so I'm the artist, designer, writer, work with a programmer, and I did all the sourcing of all the music, working with musicians on it. So a lot of work.
How many musicians?
We got 3 full albums.
Oh, okay. Wow.
There's a Shrapnel with Controller 7, so it's Shrapnel's 2 guys and Controller 7 the producer. Sketch 25 with Jeff Marquis, and then KVI with Kenny Siegel. So, and then there's a lot of features on a lot of tracks too.
Yeah, that's cool. Tell me about this new game that you have coming out, Beatdown City Survivors.
Yeah, so we made a game called Treachery Beatdown City, then we made an update for it, and I was like, so Beatdown City Survivors is a story sequel, but completely different genre, because that was a turn-based beat-em-up. This is like I love Survivors likes, don't like all Survivors like, so I like it's a kind of a immersive sandbox survive-em-up, we like to say. Like it's like, we use a lot of, so kind of very opposite of a turn-based beat-em-up. It's a very action, like you can destroy the environment. You can like punch a car, it explodes, lighting all the gasoline around it on fire. You can like dash through the gasoline to bring the trail over, and like you can make a ring of fire around enemies.
Yeah.
You can dash through water and knock down a signpost that'll like leave electricity on the ground, and then you can bridge the current to then electrify everybody. So we wanted to make something very fun that dealt with like environmental destruction, because I'm from New York, so the game's a lot about like climate change and infrastructural decay, overinvestment in policing. What happens when the island you're from, when the government wants you gone, but you have nowhere to go? So it's like a story game without a whole lot of story. It's all about like you let the gameplay do so it's like you get to play with the infrastructural decay. When you're going through the environment, cops have 2 things they can do. They're on their phone or they pull out their guns.
Classic.
They'll fight you or any of the monsters.
Of course.
And basically everything in the environment's up to you to use to try to, but it can hurt you, it can help you.
The rats don't discriminate either.
The rats they will kill anything, yeah. It's like the plague of rats. They do come out with waves, but they can also be summoned if there's too much food or if there's too many enemies. Yeah, if enemies are covered in blood, they'll and if you're covered in blood, they'll go for you, but then you can wash yourself off, and then they'll go after other enemies. Some enemies start with blood on them, like there's these like this is like half torso guys that are crawling around and they're like leaking blood behind them. So that'll actually create interesting systems where they're walking through their drenched in blood, but other enemies will get covered in blood, and they'll actually create this thing where the rats will then go and do this whole thing for you.
Yeah.
So
it seems to be like a really like fast-paced like movement.
Yeah.
I feel like most Survivors is like super slow.
Yeah, we try to. I mean, we got our big dudes, big people, and our small people, and everything in between. We're trying to do a lot of think very heavily about the character types. And even though we're going to be trying to put like 30 people in there, we want everybody to be very distinct. Because I don't know, it's not fun to have every character be the same.
Yeah.
And that's been a big challenge. We started with Brad, Lisa, and Bruce. And I was like, okay, we got these 3 people. What next?
Yeah.
And like Julie was like, we had her in Treachery Beatdown City as a story character, and we were like, oh, yeah, we want to put her in as a jujitsu or judo character. And I was like, how does that work? And then we were like, oh, bring Heather and Abby as like people who fought in the whole game, because this game is all about the enemies are like a lot like they're mutated versions of former enemies, and then the people you find are people you might not have liked in the old game, but now it's kind of like we're all we got, right? So you have to find those people, they'll help you. So it's all about this. Yeah, we all need each other.
Yeah. I was curious about that because I saw in the trailer there's kind of like a team-up system for some of the characters. Is that for all of them or just for some?
Yeah, every level has like 3 survivors that you can find. There might be ones you can unlock. Like the cats will be kind of randomly available. Like you can find a way to trigger the cat showing up to unlock the cat. And there's going to be like 5 cats that are similar but all look different and have like their own boosts. But in like in the first level in Times Square, you've got like Heather, you've got Abby, and you've got Gene, and you can go find all 3 of them at some point and bring them with you, which then brings benefits, but then also consequences, because then you're kind of having to monitor when they attack, and a lot of times I'll be running through the level, be like, oh, I'm going to dash, and it's like, well, Abby's slow, and if you like run away, she can't go anywhere. Like she's going to, they also just stop to attack, and it's like, it actually just says, oh, you need to slow down or else you're just going to lose your health per person, and we wanted to make it feel like a powerful, like, escort mission, not like one of the ones that suck, right?
Right.
And it's also inspired a lot by Dead Rising, because Dead Rising you find people and they're not really helpful.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to be like, have these people, like, encourage you to go find the people because that makes your life better.
Right.
And then having those people with you is how you unlock them sometimes. Like if you have somebody for a cumulative 20 minutes, then they'll unlock in your thing. Or if you can get them to a halal cart, offload them, you spend like a token to get, so then you spend one of your good pieces to get them out of there to save them. And then Farouk's cart will leave at that time, and then you complete the level, and then you get that person. And it's like, it's all about like caring for people.
Yeah.
Even people who you might not have liked, which is something I've had to learn as I get older. Sometimes you have to deal with, you'll be like, I hate that person, now you're working with them, and you're like, well, how do I make this work?
Yeah. We hate something else more, usually.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I was really interested in like the weapon system, because they can kind of like, when you get them fully leveled, then you can combine any of them, right? To make really unique combos. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so it was kind of started, it was funny, like, I remember seeing Final Fantasy 16, and I was just like, why, Square, more, you're, like, what are you doing? Like, Final Fantasy 6 was, like, a very interesting game because it had jazz in it, they went to, like, the slums, there was a very interesting, like, the world wasn't just that. They actually made fun of people from like Cyan was like a character that they made fun of. They made fun of that, and then now Square's like, new leadership's just like, oh, let's go do the old boring Europe stuff again. And I said on Twitter, I was like, yo, we need a game where you're in the hood and you could like summon a Timberland boot to stomp on your enemies, and people were like, yo, that sounds dope.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, it'd be cool if you could have a boot to like fight people. And then I met the pigeon riding a boot, because I thought that'd be funny from like a Karibo shoot from like Super Mario Bros. 3. Showed it to my wife and kid. Like my kid's like turning 6 soon, so they all thought it was the funny. Like she would just at dinner be like, "Can I see the pigeon again?" Because it's like this thing that just flaps up and stomps, and I was like, okay, so like yeah, we worked with Devon Dowdy, the artist that we use for key art, who's from Brooklyn. And I was like, yo, let's get our pigeon boy. And I basically like mapped out, I drew like really bad crude art, and he turned it into amazing art. And I was like, yeah, we want this pigeon on a boot to be our mascot. And then I was like, okay, that was like the first one we did. And I was like, what next? And that's been a lot of, I don't want things to be boring. I don't want to do any like procedural stuff. So all the art for the stuff is me having to come up with it. So like you get the pigeon with the boot, you get 3 pigeons with knives that are like doing like a thing where they're flying forward, or you get a pigeon with the fireworks, and when they blow up they explode into blood. So there's also, we're trying to make sure that or like the boot could be with knives and then it'll stomp like just exploding things into blood. Or
sometimes the like interaction is too repetitive.
Yeah,
like
so
the way that things go together.
Yeah, so I had to keep being like, how do we make every single weapon new, unique, different? Like there's a fire extinguisher in the game that you get from a pipe with a 2-liter of soda. Where I was like, oh, that'd be funny, because it's like now it's just like stuck in there, make the art, and it just like shoots out like cold fizz, and then you can freeze things. But that's like you have to get the soda, you have to get the pipe, and then you have to get them all together and then experiment.
Yeah.
And like we initially we just showed you what the final things were, and you could buy them when you had the things leveled up. And then I was like, wait, that's not crafting. So then we turned it to be like, oh, you pick from down here, you put them up there, and now you'll see what's new.
Yeah.
And we wanted people to experiment.
There's like a little bit of Minecraft.
Yeah. Looked at like Dead Rising, Minecraft. Looked at all the crafting systems, because it's all about like what's the most kinetic way. What's the most kinetic way of doing it? Like, you can even look through like Game UI database, and it's like it's unclear like what the best crafting systems are. So I spent a long time being like, oh yeah, like that's good, that's good, that's good. And, but I don't know. UI design is something I don't like, but it's something I've had to do, and it gets very good when you're like, oh yeah, that works.
I think UI is like it seems like one of the most annoying things to do.
it's like,
and nobody gives a shit about it. Like, I mean, once you
Yeah.
are playing the game,
Yeah.
it's very important. But
it's like it's invisible,
yeah,
and bad UI sucks.
yeah,
And I get annoyed. Like I get annoyed with menus that when you press up, it doesn't go to the bottom.
yeah.
And I'm like,
It should go all the way around.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a thing you have to do. And sometimes some menus in a game will have, oh, that one goes up. So we're trying to keep. Also, the whole thing. It took a little bit to get to the like halal card like visuals, because it used to be like very like sticking to that kind of everything's the rectangles that all the roguelikes do. And I was like, wait, we need to like this. You need to remember you're at a halal card when you're buying this stuff. Like so. And then I, like, Farouk used to just be like a still. And I was like, no, I want him like there kind of looking at you, like, what's going on? And so we gave him just a little bit of animation. Everybody was like, yo, that's dope. And I'm like, cool. Like, because we want the world to feel lively.
Yeah.
And yeah, so no, I really like it when you get to the craft stuff. Because, like, that's when, because I was like, yo, is this stuff broken? And it's like, no, you have to get there. It takes time and you should be rewarded.
Yeah.
And also in Vampire Survivors, you hit a dead end all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I got this one bird. And you spend like 19 minutes trying to get the other bird, and the game just does not care. And I'm like, well, what if you could take the bird and put it with the Bible? Like, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, again, that was like the progenitor, so I don't fault them for. And they've been trying to fix and change a lot of stuff since. But that's why I was like, oh, this is an opportunity. Every time I see, like I don't see people doing the crafting anything together.
Yeah.
I don't see people doing the environmental stuff. So I'm like, every time I'm like, I play a new game, I'm like, is this gonna? No. Okay. So I'm like, cool. We are unique.
Yeah. That's what people like.
Yeah, I mean, people are really digging it. They're having a good time, and most people aren't even getting into the crafting bit.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah, I feel very thankful.
Can you tell me about the design and art process?
Yeah, so like last year in 2024, I was like, y'all want to do this thing, so we grabbed a bunch of very placeholder art. And initially it was like, I have all this Beatdown City art. Let's mess with just like at a basic level, just doing minor changes. Like we just turned John green. And we were like, oh, let's try this like fluid system where you can go into fluid and make a trail. And we took that together and it was like, oh, that's working. Oh, let's just do a couple of combining things. Does that work? So in over 3 months, we got our demo done. And like we had people telling us they were playing it for hours. And that's when we started pitching it. And then we started again in January this year to pick it back up when we were told, hey, yeah, you'll get some money to work on this. Yeah, it's just like we're having to work. You know, I really believe in shorter dev time.
Yeah.
But we're in like a have to hurry up and get this done, or else you'll run out of money, and like puts a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That like so I go back to the art whenever I'm running into design issue, and you know we'll return to a design like the crafting thing. It sat there for a while, and I was like, I don't like this UI. It took us 2 months to get back to the UI, or every single new playable character we put in there. Like we put this guy Cobra with the shield. I had his art done months ago. Like when you could see his silhouette in the trailers.
Wow.
And then we just showed his art to be like, oh, look, there's other characters you'll be able to unlock. And then it was only last week that I was like, this is what we're doing. And it finally took me like, but it's because there's all these other things we have to do. Like, right, it's like, oh, let's redo the crafting art thing. When do we have time for that? And we were like rushing towards PAX, and like we've been working on new levels, new things, and it's just like, yeah. And so then it'll be like, okay, like this week we just actually fixed a couple of weapons that were just like I believe in OP weapons. I don't believe in OP weapons that just make the game unfun.
Yeah.
It's a couple of weapons we were like
walk away.
This is making the game. It's actually counter to the game's design process. So also a lot of playing, and being here is really nice because I get to see like were the changes that we made something people are enjoying.
Is there like a story to the game, or is it mostly just?
Yeah. So at the end of Treachery Beatdown City, the city gets irreparably damaged by nuclear explosions. And then this game, it's like we're actually trying to tell story through gameplay, but the story it's inspired a lot of like by what would lead to Escape from New York level of Manhattan being a prison.
Yeah.
And like how would they agree with selling Manhattan that's worth like hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars as a prison.
Right.
And so it's like kind of like infrastructural lack of investment in that. So the city's just falling apart. And there's a little bit of like, is this sort of a control thing, like letting all these monsters out? Like, I feel about the 70s a lot, like they kind of let New York fall into disrepair, and people, and I again, I don't think people just let that happen. If like, and then you see like all the companies coming decades later buying up all the land and selling it for a lot more, and you're like, was this a 40-year plan to devalue a city to the point where people all leave, they burn down all the buildings, and now you can like sell everything for 3 to 5 to 10x? Like, there were no $20 million like suites in the 70s. No one wanted to live in New York in the 70s. It was very post-apocalyptic then.
Negligence is intentional.
Yeah, so that's a lot about this. Yeah, it's there's so like basically you're trying to, because you live there and you're like trying to find like a cure or an escape.
Right.
And there's a little bit of like, are they intertwined? You'll find pieces of stuff that, because you have your apartment, and you'll unlock pieces of your apartment to like do level ups, but then you'll also find like, oh, now I can start to put together some stuff that will help to maybe solve the zombie problem.
Right.
A little bit like Dead Rising. A lot of these zombie movies, like very minimal story. It's more like we're just trying to figure out how to stop this.
Right.
And so like there's bits of the story that are going to be very roguelike also, where it's like, well, if you decide to do a thing and it's not actually the time, and if you might actually trigger something that like means wait, you need to start over again, and like you will always end up back in the city. If you try to escape too early, you might get blown out of the sky, and it's like, wait, we're back here now. Let's try again.
So that's the replayability.
Yeah. Trying to do like roguelike storytelling,
Yeah.
but without too many words. Like there'll be little like people will say things here and there. Like when you go to your apartment, Farouk will be standing there and be like, "Hey, if you can like fix the elevator, I can bring my card up so you can fix it."
Yeah.
And try to do diegetic storytelling. Like you see like stuff in the backgrounds and
You pay attention.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have during the madness.
Yeah. When can people expect to play the game?
Well, we got a demo up. Like we had a demo up on Steam since like.
Wish list it?
Yeah, wishlisted. We play the demo right now. We're going to be updating the demo after PAX. We tried to before PAX, but we spent all of our time working on the PAX stuff. We're going to be doing it. We actually have playtest signups too for like future stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really trying to reach out to folks to get feedback. And then the release date is kind of a little amorphous right now.
Yeah.
It's either around spooky season this year or maybe early next year.
No worries either way.
Well, it's like we don't want to be in Christmas.
Yeah.
We don't want to be in March, right? We don't want to be in the times that are busy. We want to be in either the time that makes the most sense, or if we figure out how to give ourselves a bit more time, come out like a dead time like February.
And not November.
Yeah, not November. Well, because early November, because there's a Steam Scream sale in November, so we're looking at that. Now we're looking at a lot of we're looking at the. I mean, we're not coming out on Switch right now.
I know.
So, because this game's like meant for like it's like might look a little simple, but it's got a lot of light going on. A lot of enemies. There's a lot of post-processing, a lot of shader stuff. So, if we could find someone to help us get it on the Switch, because I got Switch dev kits. But yeah, like right now we're pretty much targeting PC and Xbox.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.